So, the idea of you is the story of Celine, played by Anne Hathaway, who is a 40-year-old, I'm going to say confidently, owner of a small art gallery in a trendy neighborhood in Los Angeles. And she's divorcee. Her husband, Daniel, has plenty of money, played by Reed Scott, but no time for their daughter, Izzy. Daniel buys tickets for Izzy to go to Coachella, and he buys her meet and greet tickets to see this band that he thinks she likes called August Moon. But really, it's not a band she's liked since like 7th grade. He bails last minute because, of course, classic Daniel. And Celine ends up going with Izzy, where she has a bit of a meet cute situation with Hayes is his name. Hayes Campbell, played by Nicholas Galitzine, who we saw previously in Red, White, and Royal Blue. The two of them hit it off. They start texting. And while Izzy's away at summer camp, they decide to maybe take a swing at it and have a bit of a fling. She comes with him to Europe for a tour where, rom-com stuff happens. Romance stuff happens. It's based on a book from Robin Lee. Andy and I don't do a lot of rom-coms on this show, so I'm excited to talk about this one. You might think, wait a second, this is just two dudes talking about movies. They're going to hate it, but not so. All right, we are open-minded here on Off Script. So I'm excited to talk about the idea of you. Andy, what'd you think?
Yeah, it's not bad. There are things that work. There's a lot that doesn't as well. But I'll start with the positives. I think that our performances by Anne Hathaway and Nicholas Galitzine are the standouts of this. Anne Hathaway is bringing the Academy Award winning like A+ material to this like B- level movie. Nicholas Galitzine as well. I didn't realize he sang. He sings a lot in this movie, and he like is a recording artist. Or is like capable of that in real life. So I was really impressed by that. It's fun. It's kind of, the setup is super silly and moves really quickly. Once we get to like their romance, it's a lot more interesting. I have some thoughts on this premise and plot. It has that streamer cheapness though, because you paid for the star power, but a lot of the sets look cheap. A lot of the situations, like, they're not super convincing, but it's not bad. It's definitely got some issues, though. I have a feeling that the book is probably much better.
Yeah, I'm kind of in a similar boat. I think at its heart, it's solid. I think Hathaway and Galitzine are the best parts of the movie, for sure. And I think for like a straight to streaming movie, it's fine. I think the things that don't work are the plot. And it's funny because when I went looking for behind the scenes and trivia and trying to do some, kind of extra research for the show, I didn't find a lot other than people saying they really, really don't like the plot of this movie and the plot of the book because they feel like it's based on Olivia Wilde and Harry Styles, right? Harry Styles started dating Olivia Wilde while she was producing that sci-fi movie starring Florence Pugh that's escaping me right now. She was directing it. And he is notably younger than her, I think 10 years. While there's definitely a bigger age gap here, it's nearly 20 years in this film. It's worth mentioning that Hathaway is 42 in real life, so she's playing 40 just fine. And Galitzine is a singer, right? He can sing. There's a number of videos that he's published in the past of him singing and playing guitar. So he hits it all here. He hits all the parts. And like the two of them, I think, seem to be doing most of the work to carry the water. What's confusing to me is why they pick these roles. That's something I don't really understand. Hathaway, her performance reminds me a lot of her character in Lockdown, which came out in 2021. It was on HBO Max, starring Chiwetel Ejiofor. It's a Doug Liman picture, and that was a COVID movie where she is just basically like a basic but well-doing housewife who ends up corroborating with a partner to steal a diamond or an art piece. I'm not even sure what. And it's very down to earth. It's like simple sets. Yeah, we're just reading a simple script. We're not doing anything wild. We're not doing any crazy hair. It's a big departure from her work in Eileen in 2023, where she's this like magnetic blonde bombshell.
So good.
Just a bolt of lightning in the movie. Yes, like huge. This, she's much more calm. And in that way, I should say that Celine is a character who has had struggles, and she hits that drama perfect. When she tells Hayes about her divorce from Daniel and how much trouble it was, she retells like this horrifying dinner experience that she had where all her friends knew, and like that stuff's really meaningful and that stuff's really good. Galitzine, meanwhile, obviously, he's singing, he's dancing, and he's playing this funny blend of characters to me. It reminded me a little bit of like his, hear me out, his Royal Prince character in Red, White, and Royal Blue. Like very sincere, big acting with the eyes, like very pining after another person. Like we've seen him kind of in this romantic young man role, and then also like his airhead character from Bottoms, who is only better on rewatch, by the way. Bottoms is great. Y'all should go watch Bottoms. It's also on Amazon.
Yeah.
But like young, vapid, like I can throw money in anything kind of character. I'll buy all the art in the art gallery. Like it's fine, I guess. He works good, but I think like from the source material, they're doing all the lifting. These two are the reason you watch the movie. If it wasn't these two in this role, it probably wouldn't be worth spending any time on.
Yeah, one issue I kind of have with this premise, the if it really is based on Harry Styles and Olivia Wilde, that's a more interesting story because those are both powerhouse actors and like they are of equal kind of power. One of the things that doesn't work for me in this is even though that Selene is the supposed to be the older woman, it's still kind of a Cinderella story because you have a very wealthy and famous younger guy. Usually these stories are rich and powerful older man and young ingenue. In this, the roles are reversed, but it's still kind of that kind of Cinderella story where the man, even though he's younger, he's still the one with all the money, all the power. And yes, she has her own art gallery and her own business, but she's still kind of put into that ingenue role. And it kind of undermines what the subversiveness that you're going for. You're trying to like, upset expectations, older woman, younger man, but it would really work better if she was, I don't know, an executive in the music industry or something of that nature. It just kind of, it turns into Pretty Woman. But when you have this setup, like it's like it's still a Cinderella story. She just happens to be older.
Yeah, it's funny. I was thinking just a few days after watching it, if it would work if the genders were reversed, and it would be a very different story to make that work. Like I think that's part of what's special about this is that like it feels uniquely human. Like credit where it's due. Like the way these two meet is charming and silly, but nice. And he's drawn in by the fact that she doesn't know who he is, and also she's Anne Hathaway, right? She looks great. Like so Celine doesn't have any problems in the looks department, so he gets drawn into her, and she's interested a little bit in his status, but like not too much because she figures it's just not going to work. There's no way. She got caught up in the idea of you, she says, which is what they say the title of the movie, right?
Wink, wink.
Yeah, wink, wink. But more importantly, like for a rom-com, like those are the parts that end up being fun. Those are the parts that like you stick around for. The music is fine. None of it's licensed, right? So it's not going to be you're not hearing any bangers like in the Idea of You playlist. They're all just fine. Nicholas Galitzine's covers of songs that he's got on like his TikTok account are better than most of the music you hear in here. But it's heartfelt. He even like belts it in the credits song, which is him singing. Again, he sings all his own parts and he's good at it. Like that stuff all works. The stuff that doesn't work is the runtime. At 2 hours, it's just too long. It's just too long. It's fine. It's too long.
As soon as I saw that, I was like, this is a 90-minute idea.
It's a 90-minute idea. It sure is. And number two, the conflict. When like the big conflict happens, like most rom-coms, towards the end of your second act, something happens. The two lovers are maybe drawn apart, right? Before they ultimately come together or grow in a different way, whatever. Like, I figured it was like I thought it would be a subplot of a larger thing. And it turned out, no, that's the whole movie. This is the whole big event that this film is based around is kind of this thing that these two are going to have to overcome. And I couldn't believe, I was like, that's it? 2 hours and this is the thing that puts him on the rocks? Really? Like, bit of a bummer. I don't know, but again, I don't know what I expected, right? Like when I'm clicking on the Idea of You on Amazon, what the hell do I think I'm going to get? Oppenheimer? Like, it's fine. And in that way, it's based on a book, and I think fans of the book will be a fan, right? Yeah.
I think that we had two kind of all is lost moments, end of Act 2, like because we get there and then we seem to recover and then we kind of it happens again. And part of that is the B plot, which is we have backseated, and the movie does as well, is we've left out Izzy, who is the daughter of Solène, played by Ella Rubin, who again she's at the beginning of the movie where they all go out and to Coachella, and that's where they run into this pop star, but also um, there's a plot point of her going away to work at a camp for the summer, and that's part of how she like jet sets away during that time. And yet the daughter plot just kind of gets thrown out the window until the very end. But I think despite a lot of its problems, I think it's an enjoyable popcorn flick. It is
Yes.
pretty funny, and a lot of points we do have good performances from our characters. I have a feeling that the novel probably tackles some of the more serious aspects about relationships and relationships of differing ages much more seriously than uh, this movie is. A kind of, you're just here to see pretty people have fun and be romantic.
Yeah,
Is
and
basically
like
what's
mission
happening.
accomplished. I will tell you before we move into final reviews, Andy. The movie has a different ending than the book, which is weird.
Oh,
You wouldn't think the ending would be any different, but it is. So
actually,
that's kind of
I did.
interesting.
Actually, I did. I kind
Yeah,
of thought, I was like, I wonder if they do the same thing, because
I
yeah.
know. Fascinating. Anyway, any thoughts on this before final recommendations?
I'm ready.
Andy, would you recommend The Idea of You?
It's perfect for streaming, which it's already on, available on Amazon. We get good performances from our leads, Nicholas Galitz and Anne Hathaway. It is funny. It's charming. The setup is a little bit bumbling, and it goes on for too long. It's a full 2 hours, and it doesn't take on any of these subjects too seriously. But it's a good, Saturday afternoon popcorn flick. Watch it with your significant other. So perfect for streaming.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Like, it's perfect for streaming, and it's already there, and it's kind of perfect for Amazon, and it's already there. If you need a little rom com to throw on and make you feel a little better, right? Pluck you up, maybe. You want something to throw on for date night, stay in, whatever. Like, solid, solid. You got good talent at the center of it. I think they're both just. I mean, obviously, I think they maybe wanted to work together. But more importantly, like get in the bag a little bit. All right, every actor's got to act. Every actress has to act. And if I had to say, like, well, I think they do great work. If you really want to see Hathaway, turn it on, dude. Go check out Eileen. They added it to Hulu just last week. Solid, solid, dude. Go check out Eileen. Eileen's great. She's so good in it. Anyway, Idea of You, rock solid. One more movie to talk about this week. An unexpected turn. We didn't think this was gonna happen. We didn't plan for this. We didn't tease it. But I'm excited to get into it. Andy, how did you end up going to see this before we jump into the review proper? Just had a friend who was like, "Hey, you want to go check it out?" Or
Yeah, I had a friend who was interested in going to see this, so I said, "Yeah, I'd tag along, and might as well throw it on the show into the review."
I
So,
appreciate you going to see it. Let's do it.
Tarot.